All right, let's get right into it. This is one of those stories that just sticks with you. It's a truly haunting tale, you know? It's all about a love that was supposed to be forever, a loss that just shattered everything, and a really desperate bargain that came with a terrible, terrible warning. A warning that, well, was completely ignored. And this quote, this is basically the whole story in one sentence. It translates to falling in love was forbidden, that was the knight's warning. I mean, wow, that right there is the chilling heart of this entire thing. It echoes from the very beginning all the way to the tragic end. You've got to keep this one line in mind because it sets the stage for everything that's about to go down. So, to really get what happens, we have to go back in time a bit, about 3 years. Before all the tragedy, there was this beautiful promise of love. We're talking about two people, Punkage and Shipra. They grew up together, they shared everything, and they were banking on a future together.
See, their backstory is pretty unique. They didn't have a normal childhood. They actually grew up in the same orphanage. And that shared experience, it created this incredibly deep bond that, just naturally blossomed into love. And what I think is so touching is how simple their dream was. Punkage wasn't chasing money or fame. Nope. All he wanted was a decent job, his partner Shipper by his side, and a little family. I mean, his entire world, his whole future, it was all built around her.
And then it happens. The first big piece of the puzzle just clicks into place. Pankaj nails a job interview, and he gets that life-changing call. You're hired. And you've got to understand, this wasn't just any job. This was it. This was the foundation for that simple, beautiful life he planned out. For the first time, his dream feels totally real. He's over the moon, ready to start building that future with Shipra. But, and this is a huge but, this is where the story just takes a nosedive. A brutal, sharp turn. That absolute peak moment of happiness for Pankaj, that one triumphant moment, it instantly becomes the very first second of a nightmare that will never end. And it all started with just one phone call. So he's expecting to share this amazing news, right? But what he gets on the other end of the line isn't excitement. It's pure devastation. Shipra tells him she has blood cancer. And just like that, poof, in the time it takes to draw a single breath at that perfect future they were about to build, it's gone, completely shattered. Of course, Pankaj does everything he can. He spends every possible moment at the hospital with her, trying to be a rock. But in their final moments together, he's pleading with her, I don't want to lose you. And she, even then, tries to comfort him. She says, it's okay, Pankaj. Maybe this just wasn't our time. And then she's gone. That conversation, oh man, that conversation would absolutely haunt him. Okay, so now we're jumping forward. 3 years have passed. And the Punkage we see now, he's not that hopeful young man anymore. Not even close. He's just a shell of his former self, completely eaten up by grief. And it's from this dark, desperate place that he makes a choice that's going to seal his fate for good. I mean, think about it. For 3 whole years, his life just fell apart. That dream job? Gone. He started selling his stuff piece by piece until he had basically nothing left. He was just trapped in this downward spiral of grief, completely stuck in that one moment he lost her. It got so bad, his grief was so overwhelming, that he actually tried to end his own life. When that failed, at his absolute lowest point, someone offers him a way out. A sliver of hope, or so it seemed. They tell him about a doll that's somehow connected to Shipra's soul, a way to have a piece of her back. And in his desperation, he takes the deal. Of course, a gift like this comes with strings attached, a very strict set of rules. And this is where you can just feel the danger creeping in. Rule number 1, never leave the doll alone, keep it with you always. Rule number 2, if for some reason you have to leave it, whatever you do, do not go home between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And then rule number 3, and this is the big one. A demonic spirit is going to possess this doll, and it's going to pretend to be Shipra. You absolutely cannot, under any circumstances, fall in love with it. Forbidden. And for a little while, it works. Having the doll actually brings some joy back into his life. It feels like he has a piece of Shipra again. But that feeling of comfort, it doesn't last. It starts to sour, to curdle into something else. Something really terrifying. Because the thing inside the doll is starting to show its true colors. So at first, he's all in. He talks to the doll like it's really her. He keeps it with him everywhere. But then he starts noticing these little things. Just a subtle shift. He looks at the doll's eyes one day and thinks, wait, they look different. That comforting feeling he had, it's replaced by this unsettling vibe, like he's constantly being watched. And then we get to the point of no return. He's cooking. He sees a reflection of Shipra in a pot of boiling water, and he whips around. And the doll, it's standing right behind him. It's not on the chair where he left it. It moved on its own. So now it's not just a feeling anymore. The hunting is real. It's physical. From there, the terror just ramps up. He starts having this recurring nightmare. He sees the entity, and it looks like Shipra, but in the dream, he knows it's not her. It gives him this chilling smile, and its voice lays out its real plan. It says, I've come to take you with me now. So yeah, this thing doesn't want to keep him company. It wants his soul. And all of this leads to the final, fatal choice, the moment of truth. Pankaj knows the danger. He knows that third rule. But his grief is so powerful, it's about to completely cloud his judgment. That final, most important warning, it's about to be forgotten. So what's going through his mind right now? It's an impossible choice, right? You've got the pure, beautiful memory of the real Shipra on one side, and on the other, you have this demonic imitation. And this is really the core of it. This is how grief makes you vulnerable. That desperate need for connection can make you choose a comforting lie over the painful truth. And that's exactly what he does. He consciously chooses the lie. And he even admits it himself. This is his downfall. He says, that day I broke every rule that had kept me safe. He knew they were there for his protection, but he just didn't care anymore. He completely surrendered. He gave up his will, his safety, his soul, all to this thing pretending to be the woman he loved. Well, as we all know, when you make a deal with a demon and then break the rules, there's always a price. Always. And now that he's given in, Pankaj is about to find out exactly what that horrifying final cost is. So the scene changes. Imagine this. Pankaj is just sitting on his bed, crying his eyes out. And all around him, the floor is covered in Polaroid photos. Pictures of him and the entity looking like Shipra. The fantasy is over. The illusion has shattered. And when he finally looks up, he sees what he's really let into his life.
Because huddled in the corner of the room, the disguise is gone. It's not a beautiful girl anymore. There's no loving look. There is just this monstrous thing. Its true form finally revealed, clinging to the wall like some kind of grotesque lizard, just staring at him. The mask is well and truly off. The demon has won.
And so the story comes full circle. It ends right back where it started, with that single, fateful warning. The final line says it all. We gave our heart there, where it was forbidden to fall in love. His grief was so powerful, it pushed him to break the one rule he couldn't break. It's just a chilling reminder, isn't it, of how loss can make us do desperate things, and how some bargains are just never, ever worth the price.